My mom was having like a little mini crisis, which was fine. I'm so tired. I'm just like exhausted. Hi, 119. Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's good. Hi. Hi. Everything's fine. I'm back. My mom just needed to talk for a minute. Yeah. I'm just tired because I had like a whole thing. Because I was in California. And you guys know, like, traveling to California is just always, like, exhausting. Well, I mean, you might not know. But, so if you don't know, let me tell you. Traveling to California is always exhausting. Unless you're, like, already there. Or you're traveling from, like, Arizona. Sorry. It's fine. And I was intending to get back yesterday. But that just ended up not happening because of everything that happened. I know, I had you guys paused. And then I was like, oh, my mom's calling. I thought she just wanted to say something really quick, but she had some stuff she like needed to talk about. So I ended up ending it from my computer. I'm fine though. I'm totally good. I'm not even gonna leave. But I'm sure like the little bit of live that there was uploaded, which I should take it down since we're not really. We should have did Get Christy Love last week. This always happens to Queen. Like we say we're gonna do it, and then we like don't do it. But since we're so late anyway, we can definitely like move it to next week for sure. Oh, it automatically deleted? Oh, okay. I guess because I closed it without saving it, so it automatically deleted. I guess because I closed it without saving it. That's my computer. Hi. Oh, I missed you last time, Ori. I keep wanting to call you Umi, even though I know you're no longer Umi. We do care about you, Queen. It's just bad luck. It's really bad. I don't know why. I don't know what's the deal. You have like bad luck. Yes, everything is fine. Everything is fine. My mother wasn't having like, she wasn't like in danger or upset or anything. There was just some stuff she needed to run by me. So, because I was out of town and blah, blah, blah. So she had called me on FaceTime, which was when my connection had paused the first time. And then I was like, she had called me on the phone, and I was like, oh, maybe it's important. So, but it wasn't like a crisis, but it was important. Queen, you just said we can skip and do it next week. You just said we can skip this week. I see it right there, Queen. We can skip this week. Thank you, Deadman Animation. Hi again. Yeah, we could just chit-chat for a little while, and then we can go, and we can do Get Chrissy Love next week. Because it's so late anyway, and I have to, like, unpack. I literally walked through the door, and I got on live. What was I doing in Cali? I had a talk at California State University, Bakersfield. It was live. It is up. There's a link in the community tab for anyone that wants to watch the replay. Hi, Trey. Panda. Panda said, I care. Hi, Desmond. Hi, Tim. Thank you, Trey. I'm gonna review it, Roderick, so I'm not gonna really talk. I'm not gonna talk about it like that. Because I'm gonna review it. Hi, Sophisticated Blurred. Panda, we're gonna do Get Chrissy Love next week. We're gonna start on time. I was already like an hour and a half late anyway. And then fucking 5 minutes in, my mom called me. So I had to go. Yeah, we can chit chat, and then I'm gonna go probably like in around 15-20 minutes. We can chit chat though. So since I did just have the talk and I did just have the trip and stuff, if you guys want to talk. I was trapped in the Twilight Zone of the wrong chat. It was so funny, Panda, because after it was over, the person that was like monitoring and like moderating the chat was like, you had some like people that I guess are regulars in your channel that were in here, and they were like wilding out, and like I was like, yeah, they probably forgot. He was like, yeah, they kept saying they were trying to block people and people weren't getting blocked, and I was like, yeah, because a lot of them are moderators on my channel. And so when we do the live stream, they be used to having the power to block people. I was like, it was probably killing them that they couldn't block people on this on the California State University, the CSUB live stream. I was like, that shit was probably killing them inside. No, Zendaya did a show. I didn't see. I know she's been working with Tommy Hilfiger, but I don't know anything else about that. What are my thoughts on Solange allegedly buying Black Planet? No thoughts. I mean, I guess that's cool if people want to get on Black Planet. Not like nothing like bad. No thoughts in a bad way. But I remember Black Planet. I don't think I was ever on Black Planet. I was too young. But I can remember, I think like my mom was on there when it like first started. So if she's gonna bring it back, that's cool. Like I remember Justin Timberlake like bought fucking MySpace and tried to like bring MySpace back. It didn't work, but I could see Solange doing something cool with Black Planet. Oh, and yeah, me and my mom are fine. It was just like I was away for like 5 days, so it was some stuff she just wanted to like talk about for the upcoming week, and some stuff she wanted to run by me. Hi, Chris. The trip was good. Overall, the trip was good. I love California. It's like one of my favorite places in the world. So anytime I can go to California is awesome. I'm always like, oh, California. So it was a bit rainy. It was my first time in Bakersfield, which was cool. Bakersfield is like small and dusty and a lot of white people and a lot of racism, which is part of why they wanted to even get me to there to talk, which was cool. So I had a really good time. I had a really nice trip. They treated me really, really nice. Shout out to Kelly, who's the faculty member that invited me and like handled my trip. It was great. It was awesome. I had like a really good time. I have heard that song 119 Films. I don't really care for it, but I know people are liking it, so that's cool for them. Trey, did you watch it live or did you catch it later? Hi, Van Shoes. We're just chit-chatting. We're not watching anything because I just got back from California like an hour ago. Hi, Michelle's daughter. Sophisticated Blurred. It was. They were clowning. I was dying watching. Oh, you watched it live? I know a lot of y'all caught it live. It was a great stream. People could have a global perspective without having a foreign parent. I thought that part of the talk was really cool when we were talking about like globalization versus localization. And I think I'm going to do a follow-up video on that because I think that's important. And I think that that's something that we didn't really talk about enough. Because the other lady on the panel, Dr. Jackson, she had asked if I thought it was like a age thing in terms of people's like ideas about blackness. And I was like, no, I think it's more location than anything else, personally. And I was like, I feel like people be having like an extremely skewed perspectives based on where they are. I got to watch the live stream, partially couldn't comment because of unreliable internet. Oh, you missed it, Ori? Well, it's on my community tab. The link to the replay or the rewatch of the live stream is in the community tab. It's in the community tab. You can watch the whole thing in full. What? Never heard of Black Planet until Solange? Every week, Just Nickel, I swear, because you're like 21 or 22, right? Every week you say at least one thing that I'd be like, Just Nickel, you're so young. Like last week when you were like, you had called the bucket hat the Kangol, the El Cool J hat. I was like, oh man, that's your perspective. It's so cute. I think I got a Black Planet towards the very end. Hi, Kate. A black on social media would be cool. Black Planet is mad old. Justin Timberlake bought MySpace. Why? He was trying to like bring it back. He was trying to like make it poppin' again. I didn't know Black Planet was a thing, or maybe I do vaguely. Solange revived Black Planet with the album drop. Oh, you're in Cali? Sophisticated Blur? Cali is too expensive. It is expensive. It is expensive. Oh, I see people getting blocked by Mulatto. I miss MySpace because you learned HTML coding. Oh yeah, like I had like some decent coding skills that I let like disappear from when I was on MySpace. Right, that's what I was saying, Chris. I was like, my getting back was like really difficult because like my flight out of Bakersfield got canceled, and then like I had a layover in Chicago that ended up like everything got pushed back like a whole day because I was catching like a nighttime flight, like the last flight out of Bakersfield, and it ended up getting canceled. And then I had a layover in Chicago, and then when I like finally, so like everything got pushed back, and then when I finally had got like my connecting flight in Chicago, that flight ended up getting delayed because they had to like de-ice the plane and like de-ice the tarmac, and then like I got back home and it was like snowing. It was just like so much going on. It was a lot. And that is why I was late getting on live. And then right after I got on, my mom called because I had told my mom that I was back. So my mom called. So we're just gonna save the movie and stuff for next week. Bakersfield is cheaper, but people who live in the Bay and LA are catching hell because of the cost of driving. They were telling me that they're trying to put a really fast train in, like a bullet train, so you can get to the Bay and like up to the Bay and like down to LA really fast and live in Bakersfield. Bakersfield is the country. It's snowing now, Tim. I can't wait to move from this boring town. Oh, you from Cali? Woo! Thank you, Queen. It is expensive. The live was great. Thank you, Alexia. Hi. Vanity, I watched the live. It was amazing. MySpace had customization. You could put music. MySpace used to be hooked up. How did people think Facebook was better? They were very different at first. They were different. Like, MySpace was, like, the cool shit, though. Facebook was, like, the place, like, if you were in college, you had to have, like, your college email at first to get on Facebook. So Facebook at first was the place. The fact that Facebook was just for college students at first was, like, really smart because they had a certain demographic, like, 18 to, like, 21, 22-ish. That was, like, the demographic that was on Facebook. And they were, like, posting pictures from parties, posting, like, all your fun college shit on there. And that was, like, how you would keep in touch. And keeping in touch with people back home if you were, like, away. Like, the whole setup, like, the optimization of, like, the first maybe 5 years of Facebook was, like, fucking ingenious. Like, it really was. And then once they sort of had their core users, even people that were no longer in college that had, like, aged out, then they, like, opened it up to everybody. And so now you just have, like, all these people that's coming on because they already sort of had this, like, foundation that had been built by, like, the college students. And that was how Facebook was able to, like, really get this, like, motherfucking death grip. This death grip on social media. Oh, you watched it, Ellie? Hi, Ebony. Hi, Tyrod. California is fucking expensive, but something I would say that I like about California versus some place like New York, and not to say that, like, California's gonna get there, LA especially is gonna really get there, is that still at this point, I feel like a lot of the cities, especially in Southern California, are still somewhat optimized for artists and poor people. So there's, like, a lot you can swing in California. You just can't swing shit in New York. You just have to be rich to live there. That's it. Facebook was the Apple of those old days. It felt more premium, right? Hi, Peter. Yeah, I'm gonna be reviewing Solange's album, so I'm not gonna be talking about it right now. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna review it. Yes. Anybody that wants to watch the talk in full at California State University, Bakersfield, there is a link in my community tab. Hi, Dreamy. Oh, you live in Arizona? It is hot in Arizona. 26. 26. Oh, happy belated birthday. Your birthday just passed. Yeah. Okay, so you just made it. All right. I normally consider 25, anybody 25 and under is just like young. And I know a lot of y'all are like 25 and under. I had a Black Planet account. Facebook is trash. Hi, Justin. No, we didn't do Bees Bake because I had a really hard time getting back home from my talk in California. And then as soon as I got back and went live, 2 hours late, my mom called. Yay! Align 10 men. Awesome. Yes. I'm going to email you. We're going to chat. I was like 12 with a Black Planet account. You know how girls on Black Planet be when they get bubbly. At NYU, but she hailed from Kansas. Right now she just lamping, chilling on campus. Like, Facebook was associated with like college and college students and like college kids. Then it just like changed around. My mom had Black Planet. I was too young to use it. Anybody remember Bebo? What is Bebo? Now that one I don't know. Yeah, the stream didn't save. It just like deleted because I ended it. You remember Bebo, Roderick? What is Bebo? The block hand is coming down. I was on Bebo in middle school and high school, pulling low key. What is Bebo? What is Bebo? What is Bebo? Never heard of that. I'm fine. I'm in a fine mood, Chris. I'm a bit tired. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, you live in Bakersfield. Born and raised. This ain't Bakersfield. The wrenches are strong here. You shall be blocked. No, I'm familiar with Chicago. My grandma lives there. And you guys know I'm trying to like get out there this summer. But I was just like de-icing. Oh, Chicago. Oh, Chicago. You're thinking about moving there from Tennessee, Justin? Everybody's moving to Bakersfield now because it's like the only place you can afford, but it's like still relatively close to LA. But to me, it's funny because like when I was in Bakersfield, they were asking me like, oh, am I going to like go out to LA while I'm there? And I was like, it's kind of far. It's like 2 hours, like a 2-hour drive. It's like 100 miles. They were like, it's right there. I was like, listen. On the East Coast, you can get really far in 2 hours. In California, you drive 2 hours and you don't get nowhere. MySpace taught us how to code high key. I live in Sacramento. It's a complete hipster town now. I had a MySpace before Facebook. Cheap is what's up. I was too young for MySpace. My mom had one. Maybe my older siblings. Yeah, like I remember my mom and my aunt being on Black Planet. I fought so hard to not get on social media when it first came out. Now it's a part of life. Silicon Valley is against the high-speed train because they don't want to pay taxes for it. Oh, the train in California. That's not surprising. And I'm sure they're also against it because they feel like, oh, that's the way for like the riffraff that could not previously get to Silicon Valley, that now they'll be able to get there if they put that train in. Black Planet was similar to MySpace. You create a background, art, have music in the background. Black Planet was a whole mood. Yeah, lots of the Bees Bake folks are babies, 25 and under. Hi, Jaren. Oh, you'll be 26 on the 11th. Aquarius or Pisces. Pisces season now, I think. Solange is doing a great thing buying Black Planet. We need a platform. I heard Cali is making Tesla pay money back because the high-speed train isn't happening. Oh, I hadn't heard that. Is that true? Nobody was saying that when I was there. Hi. I snuck and had a MySpace. Wasn't supposed to have one then. You couldn't even have a Facebook at first without a .edu. Yeah. I just googled it. Bebo is a social media platform that was launched in 2005. I never heard of that. You remember Bebo? Align 10 Man? I never heard of that. No, I'm not. I see you guys talking. I'm just gonna say, like, you guys know I don't like talking about other YouTubers. I'm not affiliated with anybody else or any other YouTubers or YouTube groups or YouTube shows or anybody. It's cool if you guys find other people through me and stuff, but I don't care to talk about that personally. I refused to jump social media platforms after a while. I had AIM, Yahoo, Skonex, LiveJournal, ICQ, IMVU, MySpace, Tumblr, Facebook. I was tired by the time Twitter and everything else came around. Yeah, you was on it early. I used to be in the forums, like, heavy. I used to be in a lot of forums, like, a ton. And I also had AIM. I was on LiveJournal. I was on MySpace. I'm still on Tumblr. I refuse to leave. I was on Facebook. It took me a minute to get Twitter. Bebo was a social media platform that was around during the MySpace days, but it was more stripped down and user-friendly than MySpace. I'm gonna come, 119 Films. I'm really gonna come. And if you guys insist on talking about, like, other YouTubers, I will continue deleting your comments. FYI. Need to do something new in life. Ready to leave Tennessee. Nashville is cool, but I've been here too long. What made you decide you wanted to consider Bakersfield, though, Justin? I like Chicago and Minneapolis, but both are too cold. I've never been to Minneapolis, but I would like to visit. I'm a New Yorker for life. How much of New York is rich people residencies? I know pretty much all of Manhattan, but what about the other boroughs? All of it. I mean, maybe the Bronx, like, you can still, but, like, way up. But they totally took over all of Manhattan, even, like, Uptown, Harlem, Washington Heights, and they're creeping into, like, the Bronx also. Brooklyn completely is gone. Staten Island, I mean, who wants to live on Staten Island? But even in Staten Island, it's pretty expensive. They're creeping up in Queens. Everywhere in New York, you have to be rich to live. Everywhere. NY is heavily segregated. There's poor people. We just live in poverty land. Yeah. Like, or if you're not rich, you're gonna be really fucking poor. Extremely, like, too poor to live. I probably had Black Planet. My parents didn't monitor my internet. I don't know whether to go back to Chicago or move to Atlanta or Austin. I was definitely on Black Planet. I was on when I was in junior high or high school with my grown ass. Suffolk County is one of the most segregated places in the country. I unfortunately live in this hellhole. It's like top 3. I found so many dead accounts on platforms I totally forgot about. Bebo and Friendster and my yearbook were like pre-MySpace. Long Island is trash. Never heard of Bebo. I feel like everyone snuck and had MySpace. Wyandank? One of my besties is from Wyandank. It's wild. Hempstead and Roosevelt are the same. Y'all remember that post personifying social media pages as Boondock characters? Tumblr is Huey. Twitter is Riley. Did a mini soul search. I think one of the reasons why I didn't want to be on social media as a preteen was because I was scared of stranger danger. Yeah, like, our whole, like, way that we talk about, like, the internet and, like, strangers and stuff has totally changed. Because before it was like, be careful, stranger danger, don't be putting your personal information on the internet. Don't be sharing where you're at. Don't be sharing who you're with. Don't be sharing what you're doing. Da 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 da. And now it's like share everything, geotag this, hashtag that, tell people where you're at, tell people what you're doing, tell people where they can find you, have them look at your stuff. Like, our whole way that we use social media, like, in the internet, like, really shifted. I was on my yearbook. I never heard of my yearbook. My brothers were gamers, so everything I did online were games and YouTube. Yeah, now I was on YouTube pretty early. Like 2008 or 9. I started watching shit on YouTube and uploading. Me and my friends would like upload bullshit. But it was just for fun. We didn't like, it wasn't like how it is like now. I started getting on forums in like 2006. I got on AIM. I got a Sidekick. So I got on AIM. I was on forums. And then I think I got on MySpace maybe that year, 2006, 2007. I was on that stuff before I was on Facebook. And then I got on Facebook when it was like still for college students only. But then after I graduated, I deleted Facebook because I was like, oh, it's a thing for college students. I'm not in college anymore, so I don't need it. And then I never went back. And then it just like grew and like took over people's lives. Damn, social media flashback, AIM and LiveJournal. Didn't they say that Tumblr's going to be deleted by the end of the year? Who said that? Who said that? Where you read that? I will never leave Tumblr. They will have to delete it because I will never leave. We were talking about possibly making a Discord for Bees Bake so that we could talk on the Discord during the week. So I think some people wanted it. We're poor in Queens. I just heard that Bakersfield was cheap. I want to move to Cali but not have to pay out the ass. Everybody kept telling me they're like really racist in Bakersfield though. So like be aware of that. Like extremely racist. I thought they were only getting rid of Tumblr porn, which they banned all adult content. Because Apple have removed their app from the App Store. So they banned all adult content. But I still be seeing fucking porn and adult content on there like every single day. People just get around it. They were like, oh, like female presenting nipples you can't post. Just yesterday, I seen a post. A girl had put a picture of herself fully nude. And she just had 2 little heart emojis over her nipples. And another one like over her like genitalia. So technically, it wasn't breaking the rules. Like, and the algorithms and stuff that they wrote scan pictures for, like, nipples. So if the nipples are, like, specifically not showing, like, you will get away with it. If it's, like, butts, like, asses, all those ass pages and accounts are still up because technically they're not breaking the rules. Like, people just stop using the porn tags. Forums were the best. I learned a lot of coding and about computers. It was also the dark days of the internet where everyone was a pedophile, or at least that's how the internet was treated in the news. Tumblr might be dead or whatever, but there's still many cool blogs that I need to see, so I refuse to delete it. And Tumblr's not dead. Whenever people say that, I'd be like, you must not have ever really been... Like, for example, I'm in a lot of fandoms on Tumblr. A lot of the fandoms, because the fandoms were never posting adult content. I mean, some, depending on the fandom. But a lot of fandoms were, like, never posting adult content. So they're still posting the exact same content that they always posted. Like, so if you're on there for, like, fandoms, if you're on there for, like, it just depends on why you're on Tumblr. Now, if you're on Tumblr for pornography, then it probably died for you, yes. Everyone I know moved to New Jersey. I'm also considering San Diego because I heard certain parts are affordable. My beloved Brooklyn is not the same anymore. Minneapolis is city and country at the same time. Lakes are everywhere. Is that where you live, Vanity? Do you live in Minneapolis? I'm sorry. I don't know if you said that's where you lived. I want to live in NYC to be closer to school and the industry, but like it's so expensive. I don't have Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. YouTube is my only form of social media. I have Instagram, Tumblr, Snapchat, and YouTube. I do not have Twitter. I was permanently banned, as everyone knows. I do not have Facebook. When I first started YouTube, I did not have Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat. I only had Tumblr when I first started my YouTube account. I made Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat specifically for the channel. I have like a Facebook page that I literally never post on. I made it just so no one can like pretend to be me on there. I wish I could move to West Hollywood, but they charge like $1,500 just for a room. You don't want to live in West Hollywood. Hi, Leah. You live in a building that costs $1,800 for a 2-bedroom now. The internet used to be basically the dark web. Oops. Wyandanch. I said Wyandak. I was way off. Wyandanch. Wyandanch. Danch like ranch. Wyandanch. Got it. My MySpace was lit. I had the hidden playlist with the raining letters. Yes, I had the hidden playlist that you could not turn off. And the music used to autoplay. Like, bitch, and you can mute it. You about to get these tunes, bitch. You better get these hits. I'm in Brentwood. Try not to ever walk outside at night or, like, ever. I avoided social media like the plague until I was, like, 17. I still don't put personal information on the internet. My MySpace was interactive, like a Prezi. It used to freak me out at first when people would date online. I was like, what? They're going to kidnap and kill you. I still, to this day, think it's weird when people date online and use the dating apps and they have, like, their date come pick them up from their house. I still think that's, like, but I'm paranoid, as everybody knows. I'm paranoid. Like, I'm paranoid about, like, all the technology stuff. I'm very paranoid about it. Hi, Lisa. I was in Bakersfield. So, like, Central. I was on YouTube in high school. I never even touched MySpace. I always asked my dad to use his laptop. He was like, no MySpace, no porn. I'm like, no porn. I'm 12. I just want to play games. Now we get into cars with strangers like no big deal. Right. I didn't start using Uber or Lyft until, like, 2 years ago. I just started using Uber and Lyft. My mom had it. Number one, my mom told me about Uber. My mom is the one. Because I asked my mom if she would drop me off somewhere. Because I didn't want to drive because I was going to be drinking. This was in, like, 2014. I asked my mom to drop me off somewhere because I didn't want to drive because I was going to be drinking. She was like, oh, haven't you heard of that new thing called Uber? You should just, like, take an Uber. And I was like, what is that? Take an Uber. What is that? And she was like, oh, it's like you download this app and, like, somebody comes in the car and they pick you up and they drop you off. And then when you're ready to go, you, like, open the app back up and they take you home. And I was like, a stranger? You want me to get in the car with a strange person and have them drive me around and drive me back home and know where I live? I was like, you can just tell me that you just want me to get kidnapped. Like, it's fine. I didn't start using it until, like, 2 years ago. And even then, the only reason why I started using it was because I had got stranded at the airport one time. And I really, really needed a ride. And I can't remember where I was. I might have been in Atlanta, maybe. And I was going to, like, the outskirts of Atlanta. And, like, none of the cabs would take me, or there was, like, no cabs at that time. It was, like, something. It was something about how there was, like, no cabs. And, like, where I wanted to go, I, like, couldn't get there. And so I was, like, desperate. And, like, that was how I started even using, like, ride sharing. But I don't use Uber because it's, like, super toxic over there. Just check my Facebook account. It's 10 years old, which means you've been on Facebook since you were 16. That's a lot. I used to watch dance videos on YouTube. I was on YouTube in 2006. Sidekicks for life. I wasn't allowed to get on MySpace, and I was on YouTube in high school. I'm still very private. I don't post my family where I'm at or who I be with. I don't either, Tim. I think the internet really changed the game. I remember those 360 quality YouTube days. I can distinctly remember being on YouTube in like 2008, 2009, and like looking at videos of like cats. It's funny because people always joke about that on YouTube, but like I could really remember like, because I liked cats and they had all these funny videos, you know, like cat playing the piano. But like I can remember watching that type of shit on YouTube. And then I remember like me and my friends, because like all my friends had cameras, but this was like before the smartphones became like everywhere. So all my friends had cameras, so we would like record shit all the time and then just upload it just for fun. I was on forums earlier because of my siblings. They're older and they had all these social media outlets. I was on YouTube in junior high. Yes, so I see a lot of people saying yes to the Discord. You're gonna have to pimp that Discord out with lots of bots. I mean, and it's like, it would be invite only, so I would just invite like the BeastBake regulars if we ended up doing it. I still get spam bot porn on Tumblr. Back when YouTube was for fun and nobody was making money really, and it really meant something to get monetized. YouTube was way better back then. I hate all these commercials on YouTube. Like, damn, this is not TV. Discord is the shit. Porn is still there on Tumblr. Yes, folks are racist in Bakersfield. The Tumblr ban was the dumbest thing on earth. Tumblr is trash for that, and it's still porn left on there. Yeah, so I think we're going to do the Discord thing. Seems like you guys are into it. Bakersfield is super racist. I was a contractor out there. It was frustrating dealing with them folks. Yeah, see, like, Bakersfield seems like a lot to live in. Like I said, I enjoyed my time there just because of the people that I was with. And it was, like, very particular people that even invited me out there in the first place. And, like, part of the reason why they invited me was because they felt like it would be good for the school and for the black students at the school. I'm not getting back on Twitter, no. I hate Twitter, but I was banned permanently. So even if I did still like it, I could never go back. They banned my IP address. I had a Tumblr, but I deleted it because I didn't know how to use it. May make an account soon. Twitter is a waste of time for any type of intelligent exchange. Yeah, Twitter just... I was very, again, like I said, I had Twitter, and then like personal way before I started doing videos, and I deleted it because I was just like, this place is like hell on earth, and it's just like a toxic cesspool of like, because I remember having Twitter, not during the last presidential election, but the one before that, so that would have been like, what, 2012? And I can remember I deleted it around that time. I had a personal Twitter from like 2009 to like maybe 2012. And then I remember deleting it because I remember being like, this is a lot. During that presidential election, I remember and this was like way before I was even on YouTube or anything. I remember being like, this is just a lot. Like, this is a lot. And it's a lot going on, and everybody has all these hot takes, and everybody like has all this shit to say, but like niggas really don't be saying nothing, and like all these like political pundits and like arguing and like hashtags and just like people trying to get noticed and get retweets, and it was just a lot. So I deleted it. Completely deleted it. And then, like I said, the only social media that I had a Tumblr account, and then because I had like deleted Facebook like when I left college, and I used to have an Instagram for like 6 months, and I had like deleted that. So the only thing I had when I got on YouTube was Tumblr, but then people were like, please get on Twitter. And so I had like started the Twitter account, and then I got permanently banned anyway, so that was it. Used to love Tumblr. Used to do a lot of reposting. I kind of miss it. Oh, you live in NYC. Okay, in NYC. Tumblr's porn nuke was so ineffective. There's still uncensored porn on Tumblr. It's still very much like Russian roulette, having that app open in public. What else? I really miss reposting. I miss forum battles. It was all typing in imagination. Oh my god, forum battles. I used to be on this one like forum where they used to have these like long fucking battles and flame threads. And like part of that used to be like doxing each other. We used to like dox each other for fun, like dox each other in real life, and people like hacking into each other's email addresses and like pulling pictures out of people's accounts and like posting people's like girlfriends and like their moms, finding out people's address. Oh, I'm gonna have 50 pizzas sent to your house in real life. Like I can like remember like a lot of like old early 2000s days of the internet where it was just like on some anything goes. Anything goes. And I still have a lot of that type of attitude. Like I got on my first forum, I want to say in like 2006, like 2005, 2006, which was even like pre-iPhone. Like the iPhone came out in 2007. Because I had got a Sidekick, and the Sidekick was the first phone that I ever had where you could get, it had a browser, it had a web browser. You could get on the internet through the Sidekick. What? And it had an app that was for AIM, so you could open AIM up too. What? And it used to have this little ball that would like flash when you got a new message. It was like that first experience with like I could have the internet on me at all times. And then I had started getting into forums around those times. And then by like 2008, 2009, we were on YouTube. I remember Blogger. I had a Blogger account. Blogger, Blogspot. I had a blog. I had several blogs. And then around 2010, I got into Tumblr. And I started blogging on Tumblr. Tumblr needs to forget about the porn nuke and focus on hiring competent programmers and web designers. Porn is still everywhere on there. They didn't do shit. I had no idea how porn heavy Tumblr was. I used to only put Cassie's music on MySpace. Porn is everywhere. I can't even go on Twitter without seeing porn. The Tumblr app is such a mess. It takes 15 years for people to see your icon update. Tumblr loads extremely slow for it to be 2019. And I get it that, like, they have to have a lot of bandwidth to support all that content, but still. Oh, you talk about online dating, Ebony? I'm meeting you at the place, and I'm taking the long way home, and I'm making mad stops. I didn't use Uber until 2 years ago as well. I watched too many criminal shows. Yeah, I'm not going to a girl's house. I don't know. I've had a couple friends get set up doing this. With the online dating, I met my mans on an app. We still going strong. When I got a car, which was mad late, I didn't even get one until I was 21. As kids, we were taught to be afraid of strangers on the net finding you in real life. Now the fear is people you know in real life finding you on the net. Twitter used to be fun. Now it's trash. Same, I started using Uber in 2017. I just started using it like 2 years ago as well. No Uber or Lyft for me unless absolutely needed. Yeah. I still put in another address close to my house. I do that too. I'd be like, you could pick me up at the corner or you could pick me up at the bus stop. So you don't know exactly which house is mine. If I ever use Uber, it'll be for Uber Eats. I live in NYC, started using Uber only recently because it's cheaper than a yellow taxi. When I lived in New York, I used to take, like, dollar cabs everywhere, like, the black cabs, like Lincoln Town cars and stuff. There's a lot of bad Uber stories. Uber can be unsafe. I don't know why I just froze. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I just did that. That was weird. Well, and I got behind the chat since it did that. I remember watching people react scenes from Nickelodeon shows on early YouTube. You could voice chat with large groups in Discord. I think we're going to do the Discord thing. Quitting Twitter is like a smoker finally quitting cigs. Why go back? I had to delete my Twitter because I got tired of going on there seeing people come. Hi, Sketchnificent. Twitter's always been trash. I got one during the horrible jokes. I deleted it. Twitter gives me anxiety. I got on Twitter briefly and it just bored me. Twitter is a whole bunch of keyboard warriors going at it. People could be so mean on there. And people are just so extra on there. Like, you can literally tweet oh my gosh, it's such a great, beautiful day today. And somebody will be like, so it wasn't a great and beautiful day yesterday? So you don't think it's going to be a great and beautiful day tomorrow? What about all the people that are depressed right now and they need to hear that it's going to be a great and beautiful day tomorrow? Like, did you ever stop and think about those people before you sat there and typed out that it was a great and beautiful day today? Like, you're so inconsiderate and you just be like, close the app. Like, they be doing too much on there. Twitter breeds trolls. I deleted my Twitter too. It was way too much. Yeah, but then Trey, it's like you block one person on Twitter and it'd be like 9,000 more. It's a lot on there. It's a lot. Especially once you start getting like above a certain level of followers. Like after I hit like 10 or 11,000 followers on Twitter, that type of thing like shot way up. Way up. Because it's just like so many people that's following you that you block one person. Because my block game is like immaculate. Like, and I even preemptively block people. Even if I've never interacted with you, if I see that somebody follows me, I go look at their page, I see certain type of content, I will block them. And even still, it's just like, it's a lot on there. It's a lot of shit going on there. And then it's even worse. Like I said, I deleted it during the 2012 like presidential cycle. Because like when it's like presidential cycle time, people on Twitter really lose their fucking shit. Like, it's even worse than usual. So I'm not, even if I hadn't got my IP address banned or whatever, and I wanted to like go back or like, you know, have somebody make an account for me or something like that, it still wouldn't even be until this presidential election is over because I'm not dealing with it. And I know a lot of people that like deleted their Twitter because they were like, I had a really good friend specifically that deleted it. And after this, I talked with a lot of other people I knew and found out they deleted for the same reason, which was that I knew people that were like angry in real life because of like some dumb shit that somebody said to them on Twitter. And it was just like, whoa, I need to like take a step back. Like, I'm really angry about this like stupid ass shit that somebody said. And like, once that stuff is interacting with your real life, like I can't do it. I made my Tumblr in 2013, left for 2 years, came back and dove in head first. It was right around the time Undertale was exploding in popularity, but before it got cool to hate. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people got on Tumblr because of like things that we liked. Like I had made my account because I really liked fashion, and I had a fashion blog on Blogger on Blogspot, and then I moved it to Tumblr. And then I got into the Pacific Rim fandom, and then I had made like another account for Pacific Rim like stuff, which was how I got my YouTube name. It's from Pacific Rim. And I'm part of like just all types of fandom on there, a lot of like fandom groups. I deleted Facebook, never going back. The Negrosauruses on Twitter are still... Oh, yeah, Simone. No, thank you. I think I only started Twitter in the first place to get extra points in a game I was playing. Yeah. I hardly get on Twitter. It's too much, and I value my mental health. No better feeling than flipping your sidekick open. I had a slide, too. You slid up, but you had a little open, or you slid. Doxing people for fun was definitely a thing. My best friend sent me a computer virus just to fuck with me. Yeah, like that shit used to be a thing. Sidekick had the internet. I was part of the Sticks Up kids on T-Zones. I used to take my cousin's Sidekick and look up stuff because the internet on my flip phone was trash. Yes, your Sidekick was like your first phone that had a full web browser. You could look up anything. I used to be like, this is amazing. That Sidekick flip was the ultimate flex circa 2007. I remember Blogspot, Blogger. I always wanted a sidekick. Sidekicks were a flex. If you didn't have one, you were considered lame. I miss my Razr and Blackberry so much. I wish folks weren't so judgy on anything that's not an iPhone. Do they even still make Blackberries? Because I remember they were shutting down. They said they were shutting down the whole network, and Blackberry was on its own network. Sticks Up Kids was a hacker group comprised of mainly NYC high school students. I used to do so much. I let all them computer skills slide. Yeah. I'm still salty I never got a sidekick. I honestly think computers have become too user-friendly. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 18. I only use Uber now because I'm at university. My accommodations has 24-hour security. Yeah. Twitter breeds trolls. Twitter is way too much. Hi, Clotilde. Hi, Gary. People love arguing on Twitter. That It's a Beautiful Day overreaction is way too accurate. It'd be a lot happening. I deleted my Facebook. Twitter is next. I have a Twitter account, but I haven't tweeted anything in almost 2 years. I remember Tiny Chat, Panda. I remember Tiny Chat. Twitter is so toxic, yet I'm still on it. Low-key, I think my biggest issue with Twitter was how people could be so bullish, but also try to be on a moral soapbox at the same time. People on Twitter are overall fake. They do it for the likes and retweets. Yeah. Yeah, Pacific Rim the movie. Instagram is the only social media I have now. I'm part of like 10 Discord servers. Discord is what's up. Discord is cool. Like, I know of like a lot of people that are on Discord. That was why I knew what it was when someone suggested we do it for Bees Bake, possibly for during the week. Tiny Chat was the website. I was always on there. Nextel was cool. Little chirp, chirp, chirp. And then they had like got bought out by Sprint, and then it was like you had Sprint Nextel, but you couldn't get no web browser on there. Like once you could get a web browser on a phone, like the game got like fucked up after that. And then like a couple years after that, the iPhone came out in 2007, and that was it. It was over. Yeah, that's Nextel chirp phones. I remember my first phone, a flip phone, fell in some milk. My first phone was a Nokia that I got in 9th grade. And it was like a black and white one. And then I got like a newer one that had a color screen, which was like the shit. And then I got a bunch of Motorola Razrs because those were like the shit at that time. And then I started getting sidekicks. And then I just had sidekicks. And then I got an iPhone. And I had iPhones ever since. My punk ass older cousin had a brand new sidekick, and I broke it after he embarrassed me in front of everyone at a theme park called Castle and Coasters. Where is that? You can learn how to hack on YouTube. There's like a lot of videos. Motherboard did a really interesting series of videos on hacking. And there's also a lot of like how to. YouTube is like home of the how to. You can learn how to do anything on YouTube. You can learn how to do anything on YouTube. Literally anything. Anything. My first phone was the Razr. I was dating a guy and then saw his Twitter. Whoa, he was such a troll and a bully. Now, and I've been hearing about this too. Now, I remember this was like a big thing on Reddit. People dating guys and then finding out that they were like racist, sexist, like misogynist, homophobic, all like white supremacists, Nazis and shit like that on Reddit, but like going through life like they're regular. And I remember there was like a forum moderator that was like on all of like, he was the moderator for like all the nastiest forums on Reddit. And he had like got exposed by like one of these websites. I don't know which one it was, but like one of those type of sites like Mashable or like, you know, Gizmodo or Engadget or whatever. He ended up getting fucking exposed. And then it was like this whole thing because people were like, technically did the website like dox him? Was that appropriate? And he ended up like losing his job and all this stuff. It's like you be dating people and then you find them on Twitter or you find them on the internet, on social media stuff, and then you just be like, whoa, you're like totally not even the person that I thought I was fucking dating. Like, what the fuck? I had a chirp phone. I used to chirp random numbers. Yes, Snake. I used to be so good at Snake too. They used to be my shit. My first phone was a BlackBerry. I had the prepaid Walmart phone. I had every solid color Razr phone. I had the gray one, and then I had the special edition black and red. My first phone was the LG Chocolate. I was late getting a phone. I remember the LG Chocolate. I remember when the Google phones first started coming out, like the G7s and shit, before they started being called like Android or whatever. They were called like Google phones. I got my first phone at 16. It was a hand-me-down Razr, which wasn't cool to have anymore. I had a pink Nokia flip phone with rhinestones flexing on everybody. Oh, you had the Mariah. You had the Emancipation of Mimi phone. I had a Nokia. My first phone that I didn't have to share was a Virgin Juke. I don't know why I wanted that skinny-ass phone. I remember that phone, the Juke. The whole thing was you could play music on it. Because, like, it's funny to think about how, like, the smartphones introduced all this functionality. And then to, like, think of the old phones that didn't have it. Like, the whole point of the Juke, which was on Verizon, was that you could play music on it. Because there was no other phone out at that time that you could play music on. Like, before, it was like you had to have a music player, like an iPod or like an iRiver or MP3 player or CD player, and a phone. And the Juke was like, you can listen to up to, and wasn't it like a limit? You can listen to like up to 20 songs or whatever. That was like amazing. Like when the Sidekick came out and it had the web browser, you were like, oh shit, I can like get on the internet from the phone? What the fuck? And now, like, the smartphones have all this functionality. Like I was saying before, the phones at first, like, didn't have cameras. So you had, like, a camera and a phone. And then, like, they put I remember when, like, they put the cameras on the Sidekick. How, like, hype we all were. Oh, you don't want the government to find out? Okay, let me stop reading your hacker comments out loud. My first smartphone was the G1. I love that damn phone. Google phone. I'm taking an online math class, and instead of hiring a tutor, I'm watching YouTube videos. You can learn how to do anything on fucking... Oh, do you still live there, Jaren? Arizona? A couple of y'all have said you live in Arizona. Hi. We're just chit-chatting. That's all. Apparently the colors on social media contribute to their addictiveness. Where are we? What's up, Sam? My older sister would play Snake and eat sunflower seeds at the same time. Remember when Beyonce had her phone through Samsung? I have not decided yet, Simone, if I'm gonna lock or cut it. I'm really trying to decide. I was like, you know, I'm going to wait until September, I think. Because September makes 3 years since I cut my locks. So I'm going to wait until December. But, like, detangling is just really becoming an issue. And I know it's just going to get worse and worse as it continues to grow out. And I'm just too lazy for that shit. So, I miss my locks a little bit. Let me not say that. I don't miss my locks. I kind of miss just having locks. I don't think I would mind having a new set. But I also miss having my little short, cute Peter Pan hair. But short hair also requires a lot of upkeep because you have to, like, continuously trim it and get it cut. So, I don't know. I haven't decided. I had a razor in that hot pink-ass color from Verizon. I had the Pantech that slid both ways. I don't know if they still sell beepers. People create personas specifically for Twitter just to fit in with the crowd. I remember my sister and her friends painting their Nokia flip phones with nail polish because of some trend. I remember, and hi Rasal, I see you. I remember when like those charms with the little like cords that you could like link. The Motorola Razr had a little space on the side just for the charms. I remember I used to have like all these charms on my phone because that was like the new hotness at the time. Playing Snake on that old Nokia brick. My first phone was a purple LG Lotus from Sprint. My grandpa still has his beeper. I had my old phone from 8th grade to my freshman year in college, a Nokia. I just switched to iPhone last year because I could get a jailbroken Spotify account on it. The only reason why I switched from my Sidekick to an iPhone was because iPhones used to exclusively be on AT&T. So it was like nothing to buy your, I used to just buy jailbroken ones and put because my Sidekick broke. And so I just bought like a jailbroken iPhone and I put my T-Mobile SIM card in it. I still want a beeper. Technology has exploded like crazy. Nowadays, people know how to use a tablet before they know how to use a toilet. Got my first iPhone in 2016. My first phone was an LG Cookie. That phone was my baby. I remember that phone, the LG Cookie. My coworker said Arizona is hell on earth. Sorry. Thank you, Trey. I loved my little shortcut. It is hell on earth. Van said it is hell on earth. Sorry, I just had to screenshot that because that was really funny. Where was I in the chat? Oh, you live in Houston? Never been to Houston, but you guys know I'm trying to get to Texas also. My thoughts on crochet twist, braids, and locks. On myself or on other people? I don't really have any thoughts on. I don't think I understand the question. Or my answer might be no thoughts. Can I be real with y'all? I miss signatures and ringtones. Having locks gives you a certain identity. I'm feeling that now. Didn't you cut your hair, Queen? Thank you, Jaren. I'm thinking about getting locks. I've been growing my hair for almost 4 years now. Thinking of getting crochet locks and trying out that wig life. Yeah, I don't really have thoughts. Maybe I'm not the right person to ask because I'm not into hair like that. I'm not, like, into that. Not that I'm just, like, not. I don't think I can advise you. I don't really know very much. Hi, Will 2 Games. Somebody said they miss the signature. There you go, Simone. Can I be real with y'all? I miss signatures and ringtones. Yeah, it was a moment. I remember changing my ringtones and text message tones to Whitney and would annoy everyone. I remember having so that when somebody calls you, it wouldn't ring. It would play music. It would play music on their end, like as if they were fucking on holds. I remember that. I had an Eeyore charm because I was obsessed with him. My first phone was a Boost Mobile Chirp. Want micro locks. I used to jailbreak my iPod Touch and use that as a phone. What kid nowadays can't use a tablet? Ringback! That's what that shit was called. Ringback. I'm getting small individuals this week. I love my natural hair, but it's too much at times. Once it gets past a certain length, detangling is really a lot. It's a lot. I know. I really just yawned. Tim. I think my Uber Eats driver was sitting in the parking lot on his phone for like 30 minutes. What do you do when you order food and the person gets like lost and they cannot find you? Does your order get canceled? Do you get your money back? Or like what you just said, if your driver is just like sitting in the parking lot, like what do you do? to Jersey. My niece is 3. She writes me voice notes from her iPad. I'm gonna come see everyone in Houston. Don't start fighting. It's gonna be a screenshot. Jersey. We filmed in Jersey last year. We had a really good time. Hi, Davey. We're just chit-chatting. That's all. I'll have something in my hair. Oh, crochet on me? No. I have no thoughts. Probably not, because that seems like it would take a really long time. Why do ringtones go out of style? I know people that still use ringtones and still have them. I remember there used to be this app that you could download on jailbroken iPhones. Maybe iPhones still do this. I don't even know, because I haven't done it in a while, but there used to be this app that you could download on jailbroken iPhones where you could take snippets of songs that you already had on there and make that into the ringtone. Yeah, I thought you said you cut them. So, what is your hair doing now, Queen? How far, I feel like we might have talked about this before, but let's talk about it again. How far is it between Houston and San Antonio? Like, how much space? Like, how long will it take? Screenshot. Had my food stolen 3 times on Uber Eats. Ringtones aren't a thing anymore. I still use them. Ringback tone, yeah. Ringtones were fun. I haven't had them in years. They stole your food. I just want to let you know I'm laughing deep from my soul. I wanted to cuss dude out. Thankfully, we got our milkshakes, but like, damn. I had a ringback, and my mom would tell me to change it, or she would never call me again. They will refund you, but you won't get food. Oh, so that's what will happen. You just get a refund. Or credits. I remember recording my favorite snippets from Comcast Demand just to use his ringtones. I contacted my driver and just told him meet me at a leasing office because I live in a big complex. My Uber Eats meal was supposed to come at 4:02. It didn't come until 4:52. Now, Steve, can't you be like, my food was almost an hour late. I want my money back or something like that? I was missing my Mexi sauce from Grubhub and received a full refund. I've had that happen to me. The driver never showed my food. So what did you do, Sketchnificent? Like, what happened? If your driver can't find you, they're supposed to call or text you. If you don't get your food, you're credited or refunded. Depends on the company's policy. Yes, you did, Queen. You did. I see you. You did. I see you. Like 5 hours. Ringdroid did that for me. I was making ringtones every week. I have never heard that, Peter, but thank you. It's about a 3.5 hour drive from one to the other. Oh, what is that? Interstate? IH10. I didn't even know they still made ringtones. I don't think they make them. I think you can just like pick. Well, let me not say that because maybe they do. But I think you can like pick. I'm pretty sure you can like pick snippets from songs and make it your ringtone. Food be cold as fuck. Oh, here now is a TWA. Have been 2 knots most of the time. Take it out. Yeah. I've had like things be left behind, which is like really annoying. And you'd be like, where the fuck is my this or that? I remember one time I had ordered carry out Chinese food. And I had ordered a large fry and a small shrimp fried rice. And they sent me they sent me the wrong size or something. Like they had got it mixed up. And they sent me like a large shrimp fried rice and a small fry. Or like, I remember for a fact that the french fries were wrong. And I think the shrimp fried rice might have been wrong too. And I was like, this is not what I ordered. I was like, and even on my receipt had the correct order. So I really don't know what happened. And they ended up like refunding me the whole entire thing. Which was fine, I guess. Y'all remember when Domino's used to guarantee 30 minutes or less for delivery? I always put in a complaint and get a refund. I ordered my Uber Eats at 3:34, so the food was being prepared, would arrive at 3:48. He arrived at the restaurant at 4. I just got my food 5 minutes ago. It's 4:43 your time. Your food was really late. I don't know, Rock Lee. Rock said, am I having kids? When am I having kids? Hi, Alex. I said, I don't know. I have a lot of issues with bringing children into the world. Like, the morality of it is questionable to me. Even though I love children and I'm, like, awesome with them. But the world is, like, a lot. There's, like, a lot going on. I don't know if I could, like, in good conscience bring a black child into this world. That might, like, morally and ethically fuck me up. I don't know. Like, damn, you're gonna be going through a lot of shit, and you didn't ask to be born. I brought you into this world. So it's, like, my responsibility. All the shit that you're gonna have to go through as a black child. And as a black adult, and God forbid if you're, like, have any, like, other type of, like, non-normative identity, like, I don't know, y'all, like, I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that responsibility. It's, like, a lot. I mean, in addition to the fact that they're also, like, insanely expensive, they're, like, wildly expensive, and nowadays, like, the wealth inequality and stuff is only growing and growing. Like, I don't know if I could guarantee them a certain type of, like, quality of life. And then they reach adulthood and, like, the whole thing with, like, the college and, like, I just don't know if I could guarantee them, like, a certain type of life. And so why would I, like, bring children into the world to suffer? That's kind of fucked up. For what? For my own, like, selfish reasons of, like, what exactly? Like, people be like, I want to be a parent. Like, I want to be a mom. So you're going to, like, bring a whole child into the world with, like, no money, like, no plan. I don't know. That's intense for me. Or, like, I want my legacy to continue. Like, what is your legacy? Exactly. And I also feel like if I wanted kids as well, I don't have to, like, biologically have any. There's, like, a lot of kids that already exist. And black kids are also, like, notoriously, like, not adopted, and they will spend their whole lives in the foster system. And so I'm not pushing. I'm not pressed to, like, push out a baby. And I also just I just think, like, pregnancy is weird. Pregnancy is weird. I've had several friends have children. I've, like, witnessed pregnancy, like, firsthand, and I just be like, whoa, that's craziness. And I don't really say crazy. It's just, like, a lot. Pregnancy and childbirth is a lot. A lot. It's a lot. Serenity, you're not alone in paranoia. Just realize how paranoid I am. I don't mess with a lot of things. Yeah, I'm paranoid as fuck. Oh, yeah, you're in Houston or San Antonio, too, right? Just Nickel? Queen, Just Nickel, and Umi, I think, are all in Texas. There's an app that will let you take whatever snippet from a song, make it a ringtone. Damn it, now I want a large fry. I mainly order food from Amazon Fresh. Seems like I keep running into the issues on Uber Eats when I order from Five Guys. You eat Five Guys a lot, too, Justin. If you come to Texas, you're going to want to dedicate a day or two to each city. But, yeah, they're, like, 3 hours apart. Yeah. I'm scary. I'll go to a place I ordered my food from delivery. Like, oh, you thought you could play me over the phone? Now I'm here. Now what? I guess because they feel like that defeats the whole purpose of ordering. If you're going to go, curse them out. Checkers Raleigh's, the large fry is little as hell, but the drinks are big enough to share for like 10 people. That's like Wendy's. I think that's like all the same company. Seren will have kids when and if she decides to. Thank Thank you. That's true. Five Guys went up on their prices. I went there the other day. My computer keeps getting dark. That's what that light is. The burger alone was literally $10. I walked out of there so fast. I'm on the exact same page. Bringing a black innocent child into this disgusting world, I'd rather adopt. I have the same thoughts on having kids. Yeah, I don't want kids. 100% agree. Don't mess with my food, I get hangry. Ha! Y'all silly. I just want 2 kids. Somebody said they want 6. I just found out my cat was pregnant because she gave birth on the floor last night, so now we got 4 extra kittens. Oh my goodness. Good luck, Justin. It truly intimidates me, the thought of parenting a black baby because of society. I want kids, but I want to wait until the time is right. I have the same thoughts. I want a child and would be a great parent. I just don't want the responsibility. Ruined a perfectly good sperm is what you did. Look, it's got clinical depression. Right. Like, and people even fuck up kids like accidentally. Like, you're not trying. You just fuck them up. I thought about adopting. If you can't feed your baby, then don't have a baby. Yeah. I've had these same thoughts. I was in foster care. It ruined my family. Especially older black kids aren't adopted. I want to have like 4 of my own, but I also want to either foster or adopt older black children. I want to adopt. I want to be financially stable for them to have no lack. If I have kids, I'm having a water birth with a midwife. Ebony, you think pregnancy is cool? You also don't like raisins. My friend's mom signed her over to the state so they would pay for school. It was pretty fucked up. I want kids, but with everything going on, I just don't know. Do I want my kids to go through it? I might adopt. The kids are already here. There's a lot of kids who need homes. My family is super dysfunctional, so I'm incapable of dealing with certain types of people. I don't think I have the moral right to raise. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Russell, yeah. I want to be a mom someday, but after seeing your Black American video. Oh, with Adrian. Yeah, in Oakland. I think I'll get a midwife and have the baby at home. Yeah, please consider doulas. Yes. Adrian's a doula. That was the Black Americans Oakland, if you didn't see it. I was talking to Adrian, who is a black doula, and we were talking about the medical system and stuff like that. I want a home water birth. Whole Foods delivery is trash. They're always out of stock. The items I order. Five Guys is like $15 for a meal. I want a home birth as well. Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you. Pregnancy is cool. I just don't want to experience it. Pregnancy, I mean, it's cool in theory. Like, the concept of, like, you're growing like a child is like, whoa, biology is crazy. Like, it's, like, out there. But actually doing it, like, pregnancy is really hard. Like, and you're really tired. Like I said, I've seen some pregnancies, like, up close and personal. Not saying anybody hasn't, but you're, like, really tired. Like, a baby is basically a parasite. No bullshit. And so, like, the baby just, like, lives off you, and so you're just, like, tired all the time, and you have to, like, pee all the time, and you can, like, sneeze and, like, piss on yourself. I had a friend that was, like, constantly, like, peeing on herself. Even and not, like, a lot of pee, like, a little bit, but enough, you know, like, enough pee. And towards the end, they're so big, like, they're so big inside of you, they'd be, like, pushing up on your lungs, and so, like, a lot of women, it's, like, hard to breathe. And, like, the back pain, and, like, the baby gets like so big, but it's like still inside of you, and then it like moves around and moves like independently of you. Like my best friend used to send me videos of like her son moving. I used to be like, whoa, it's an alien. It's about to bust out of your fucking chest. It's a xenomorph. Look at it moving. Look at it moving. Like it was just a lot. It was a lot. And then like pregnancy and childbirth is like really physically traumatic to your body also, like in a lot of ways. I don't know. And like I said, and all that is like outside of like the moral and ethical aspects of like bringing Black children into this fucked up ass world. It's just like a lot. You saw Crip Nuts and thought of me, haha. Oh, somebody said, y'all, I encourage people to try Amazon Fresh Devil Delivery. That Prime membership is golden. Tim said, I think I'll pass on getting my produce from Jeff Bezos. I have one child. Trust me, it's hard as fuck. I actually had a friend who had her baby at home. I'm definitely using her as a source. She and her little one are perfectly fine. It is a parasite. It is a parasite. It is a parasite. It's literally attached to you through the cord, the umbilical cord, and it receives all of its nutrients through you. Everything it needs. It's living off you. It's leeching off you. It's a parasite. That is a parasitic relationship. I want to feel the joy of seeing little eyes look up at me in innocence and wonder as I breastfeed. Okay, I know you really meant that. I know you really meant that. But like, okay, this is why I'm gonna like pivot a little bit. This is why I hate like mommy blogs. And this is why I hate pregnancy blogs. And this is why I hate people posting about pregnancy and like mom shit on like Instagram and shit. Cause like, breastfeeding is hard. And it takes a while to get the hang of it. And it takes a while for your baby to latch on. And some babies never do. And it's really painful at first. For the most part, I'm sure there's like people out there that it was like perfectly fine and wonderful. And like they felt the joy of seeing little eyes look up at them in innocence and wonder as they breastfed. But like for most women, it's extremely painful. Like my really good friend described it as like being stabbed in her nipples by needles for the whole entire time. And it never got better. And she breastfed her son for a whole year because she felt like it was the correct thing to do. But it never got better. And you have to use this like numbing cream on your nipples. And your nipples can fall off, right? Like that can happen. And they can be bloody. Mucus can come out of them as well. Like, and like having bloody breast milk is like a thing that you have to deal with. I also know that like pumping can be really hard and painful and uncomfortable. And you have to like set it up and like attach it to your breast, and it makes this noise like while it's like pumping. It's like it's a lot. It is not all joy and innocence and wonder. Pregnancy and childbirth and raising children is hard and messy and painful and expensive. It's a lot. And like the whole mommy motherfucking industry, I am not being dramatic. I'm absolutely 100% not being dramatic. I'm very familiar with like, I'm extremely familiar with like pregnancy and childbirth and like all that stuff. And this is the stuff that people don't ever talk about. Like this is the stuff that people don't ever talk about. And I get why, because like talking about it is like really terrifying. But like this is the stuff that people don't talk about. They put this like really romanticized idea of like pregnancy and childbirth and parenthood, and then you end up with a lot of like really fucked up children and adults walking around because their parents were not emotionally prepared. They were not mature enough. They didn't know what was gonna happen, and then they like fucked up their kids. And I don't think that that's cool or appropriate, because they think it's just gonna be like rainbows and butterflies and like everything's so wonderful because like that's what they seen on it. Not talking about any of y'all in particular, just saying because like that's what they seen on Instagram. And then it's like actually the first 6 months of your child's life they're gonna cry a lot, They're going to pee a lot. They're going to poop on you. They're going to snot on you. They're going to throw up on you. Like, God forbid if they get, like, some fucking acid reflux or some colic or something. It's going to be a lot of crying and a lot of throwing up and a lot of poop. And they're not going to be able to talk and tell you what they want. So you're going to have to figure out what they want. It's going to be a lot of, like, no sleep. And yet you still have to go to work. Like, it's just going to be a lot. It's going to be, like, a lot of, like, it's just going to be a lot. I remember talking with my best friend and being like, what was the number one thing you wish somebody had told you about pregnancy and childbirth that you didn't know? And she literally said she wished somebody had told her about the peeing, like how you pee a lot. You will pee on yourself and like pee. And especially when the baby gets really big, if they're like pushing on your bladder, you could be like, ha ha ha, and like pee comes out. She said she wished somebody told her that. And she said she wished somebody told her like that breastfeeding can be really painful. Because she was like, when she had first started breastfeeding and it was painful, she was surprised because literally nobody had said anything. None of the doctors, none of the nurses, anybody. So at first she thought it was something wrong, right? And then you have people that, like Black women, for example, don't breastfeed as much. And I know a lot of people have said that like part of the reasons behind, a lot of the reasoning behind that is because like we are not educated on like what breastfeeding is really like. We have all these ideas about breastfeeding, and then like once you go to do it and your baby doesn't latch on, or it's like really painful, or your nipples start bleeding, all this stuff that you didn't know, nobody told you, you just like, I'm not doing that breastfeeding shit, I'm done. So like I think it's important to like talk about the reality. And I'm not even being dramatic. I could tell you some motherfucking dramatic ass stories. I could tell you some, y'all want to hear like drama. I know somebody, a Black woman that gave birth in a hospital. They fucked up her epidural and she could not walk. Like, she had to relearn how to walk, go to physical therapy, everything, because the epidural is this big-ass needle that they put in your fucking back. Like, she ended up suing the hospital, getting, like, a ton of money, but still. Like, we could talk drama. I'm not even being dramatic. I'm just talking about, like, regular shit. We all were once parasites. I don't know if I can go through pregnancy. I'm not mentally strong enough to deal. It's really hard. Giving birth is a lot. Like, they don't tell you that you can tear. Yeah, like, giving birth is, like, really physically traumatic for your body. Now, like, your body, of course, will, like, come back. But, like, giving birth is a lot. And I know somebody that had, like, a C-section. And then for her next baby, she had a natural birth, which was lucky. Because a lot of times, if you have a C-section first, they don't let you have a natural birth. She did say that having the natural birth was easier than having the C-section. Because the C-section is, like, they cut you open. They cut through your muscle wall. They like take out your organs. Like, I'm being real with y'all. I'm not being dramatic. They take out your organs and they sit them on the table. Okay? And you can see them. And then they take out the baby and then they put your organs back. Okay? And they staple you up. I've heard of people saying like that their insides felt different afterwards because the doctor just like shoved the organs back in there. Like, whatever. I don't care. I have another C-section in 20 minutes. Like, let's just get this over with. Okay, like, it's a lot. Like, getting a C-section especially is, like, really hard on your body. It's, like, major surgery. Pushing out a baby out of your vagina is also extremely difficult. And you can, like, rip your whole fucking vagina, like, to your asshole. And they have to, like, sew that shit up. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot. And one of my sons steals weed from me while I'm at work. People got to think these things through. The concept is similar to a parasite, but it's a beautiful, sweet, loving parasite. It's a chest burster, Gary. The infant be looking like a soggy waffle in there. I didn't realize C-sections were so intense. Organs on the table. Yes. It's a lot. It's a lot. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I think people don't realize that, like, how serious, like, pregnancy and childbirth and then raising a child, like, you brought a life into the world is very serious. Like, it's not a joke. When you press on the stomach and they punch or kick you back, and it is cool. And, like, how they say that the baby can hear you and stuff, that shit's cool. Like, it is cool. Like, when you talk to them and they kick and stuff, there's a lot of stuff about it that's also dope. That's, like, awesome. Like, when you're around a baby and the baby, like, smiles at you, you know they, like, recognize you and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot that's very cool and awesome about babies. A ton of stuff. Like when they laugh, when they have a little sense of humor, like, and you do something and they laugh, it's awesome. I love Black women birth videos. I feel like it's a testament to the strength of the human body. Talking about xenomorphs, do you have a favorite alien movie? I like Resurrection, which people hate. But I have a theory that people didn't like Resurrection because there was too many black people in it. And it had Ron Perlman in it. And it had the dude in the wheelchair, which I really like seeing a badass person in a wheelchair. That's my favorite one. And it had Winona Ryder as the robot. Moms be like, I went through 89 hours of labor. I watched my mom give birth when I was 15. It was unforgettable. I was born in my grandma's bathroom. Right, the labor thing is trash, but once the baby comes, it's wonderful. Breastfeeding is painful. My mom said she didn't breastfeed with us. Breastfeeding ain't easy. I watched my mom and stepmom do it, and the pumping was a hassle. Those little baby gums are vicious. Hi, Prince Girl. And then, like, once they start getting a tooth, I heard it can be really painful. But there's still, especially if they get the tooth, like, early. Like, I knew this other lady that really wanted to breastfeed for 1 year. And then her daughter got a tooth around, like, 8 months, 9 months. She got the tooth fairly early, but she still wanted to continue breastfeeding because she was like, I want to breastfeed for at least the first year so my baby gets, like, the nutrients. But the baby had a whole tooth. Like, I heard your tits turn to bricks, but it is what's best for the baby. I was on the bottle forever. I'm an 80s baby. I was allergic to milk. Had to have some special formula milk. Can you not? This is making me want to never have a baby. Seren's commentary. I'm just saying. Just trying to kill my romanticized breastfeeding fantasy. I'm sorry. I have to keep it 100 with you. Serena's keeping it all the way real. She's speaking the truth. Pregnancy. The director's cut. Seren's commentary. Right. It's like a lot. Speaking the truth. I saw my sister, who's 15 years my senior, give birth. That was permanent birth control. I mean, and I watch a lot of like the home birth videos and the midwife videos and stuff like that on YouTube also, because I do also think it's like fucking amazing. Like, childbirth is amazing. It's amazing to witness from the outside. Pregnancy extended version, narrated by Seren. Seren is talking about how parenting in theory is dope, but in practice it can be horrible. Seren, you're giving the coach from Mean Girls, you're going to get pregnant and die tease. Not even that it will kill you, even though a lot of people do fucking die in childbirth. That's true. Like, I'm not going to take it that far, but it is hard. It is difficult. This is like the weddings versus marriage talk. Pregnancy, childbirth, and parenthood is so serious. The older I get, the more I become aware of how serious it is and start asking if that's something I'm actually interested in, and if so, why. Yeah, I think it has to be taken really seriously. And also, like, pregnancy and childbirth is also, like, wildly expensive. To have a baby in a hospital costs, like, it can cost anywhere from, like, $5,000 to $10,000. Like, $8,000 on average just to have the baby. That's what the hospital will charge you. Like, it's too much. If you do it in a hospital, which you also have a higher chance if you do it in a hospital of, like, picking up, contracting, like, illnesses. There's a word for them. I just can't think of the word right now. But you also have a higher chance of, like, picking stuff up in the hospital as well. You can poop on yourself during delivery. My sister was laughing so hard she peed on herself in front of all her friends. That's real. The peeing on yourself is so random, and it happens. Your friend went to feed her baby, and she was like, what the fuck? Yes, and nobody mentioned it. She was like, nobody mentioned that it could be painful. And she said it wasn't just like a little bit painful. It was literally like needles stabbing her in her nipples. And she was like, I had to go Google it and look online and see that this is like a common thing that can happen. And women like exchanging tips of like if you massage your boobs this way or if you like use the nipple numbing cream and like stuff like that. She was there, but no doctor or anybody said anything beforehand. That's a lot. You also, like, if you are going to get pregnant and go through childbirth, especially as a black woman, you have to be prepared to do a lot of shit yourself because no one's going to tell you. And be prepared to, like, work with, like, a midwife or a doula or a physician's assistant because, like, your primary care physician might not tell you shit. Like, there's a lot. It's a lot. I'm never getting pregnant, thanks, but no thanks. You do pee quite a bit. My son was 8 pounds. My daughter was 9 pounds. Luckily, my grandmother and mother answered a lot of my questions. My sister pooped on herself, too, while she was giving birth. It was nasty. You need a book on what? On kids? I could write you a book on motherfucking children. Black Americans video in Oakland was good. Gave me something to think about. A home birth sounds good. It's the truth that many need to hear. Yeah. Childbirth is grimy and dirty. Also, historically, black women were wet nurses to white children. I think that plays a factor as well. Like the intergenerational trauma aspect. Nipple shields are a thing for breastfeeding. Water birth, midwife, doula, natural birth is really better. Richie, I'm in listening mode now. When I found out that when you have a C-section, they take your organs out, I was just like, that's not too much. But it's just because, but then you think about it, right? Like, they have to cut you open, and like I said, they have to like cut through your abdominal wall and like cut through your muscle, cut through everything. And then you have, because you're not pushing the baby down the birth canal. So they have to like get through all that stuff that's in your stomach to get to the baby. And then they have to take it out so they can take the baby out. And then they put it all back. Like, and that's nothing you think about, right? Pregnancy sounds horrifying. Yes, organs on the table, staples, spleen all on the counter. Nope. C-sections are like death. My mom had that for me. Judge Hatch's daughter-in-law had a traumatic fatal experience with that. I did not know that about C-sections. I'm throwing up. This is the talk. C-sections are like organ musical chairs. And then they just put them back. Like, whatever. Just put her liver back in there. Who cares? I think it was over there. I think it was like... Also because, like, you know, doctors have, like, a working understanding of, like, anatomy. So they have, like, a general idea of where it all was. So they just, like, put it back. Like, whatever. You're not supposed to lay on your back when you give birth. Yeah. They say it's better to be standing up so that the gravity pushes the baby down. I had a huge blood clot after giving birth. My gynecologist had to put her whole hand in there to get the clot out. You see? My chest hurts from laughing so much. Nope, I'd rather adopt dogs and cats. We talk about pregnancy and childbirth, Aaliyah. Yep. C-sections are horrible on the body. I don't think they should be done. Only in emergency situations. They're very physically traumatizing to your body. And they take a really long time to recover from. It's true. I have no hips, so might have to get a C-section. We'll see. So much to think about. I have chihuahuas for now. Thanks, Soren. The topics I try to avoid. It is beautiful bringing children into the world. It's joyous, but there is another side, right? And that's why I was saying, like, I feel like a lot of these, like, the mommy... I mean, but that's just all social media. Like, but just for the context of what we're talking about... The mommy blogs and the childbirth blogs and stuff, obviously they're only going to show you what's nice. They're not going to show you, like, how this morning, like, her nipples were putting out snot. You know? Because your nipples will put out mucus before the milk starts coming out, for example. Or, like I said, a little bit of it might be bloody in the beginning. Nobody's going to post about that on Instagram. And then when it happens to you, you're just like, what the fuck? Like, nobody told me. Some people have 3 sets of teeth. Some people do have 3 sets of teeth. I just remember, like, I used to babysit for this kid that had really terrible acid reflux, and he used to, like, cry all the time and, like, throw up everywhere. And the doctor was just like, there's really nothing you can do. You just have to, like, wait for it to pass. And, like, that's also something that, like, it's just things about, like, with kids, you just don't know until you know type shit. And then there's a lot of also stuff that you can't do anything about. You just have to, like, get through it. It's like a lot of that type of stuff with kids. And people don't talk about that stuff. And that has to be taken into consideration. And then people be like, you know, they, let me be more specific. White women, that's who I'm talking about, snap and be like, I couldn't take it anymore. I drowned my kids in the bathtub. Like, you probably shouldn't have had kids. Like, you wasn't emotionally ready. You just did it because, and you wasn't ready. And nobody told you that, like, there will be days where your baby cries all night and you won't be able to get them to stop. You just have to get through it, you know? Like, there will be days where things happen. Giving birth disturbs me. My mom told me how painful it was. Birthing my brother, I was easier. Wasn't too bad the first time, but the second time was bad. I know a lady who breastfed for 3 years. Now, as soon as they get that tooth, it's the bottle. If men could give birth, just think of having to push a whole baby out through that tiny penis hole. Y'all funny. Oh, Umi, I'm going to screenshot this because I'll email you about Black Americans when I'm in Texas. Y'all go through so much shit. This conversation alone is making me squirm. Right, Queen, to witness. All this commentary is furthering my decision to not have kids. I can't even handle my period. Are you gonna get it? You gonna get the epidural? Oh, you talking about... So Panda said she's petite with little hips. It depends if I have a baby, how big the baby is. Yeah. My mom had a C-section with my brother. She had hips for days and is 5'6", but his head was just too big. Yeah. I knew someone else that had to have a C-section because she had like uterine fibroids previously. So... And that was something else too. Like all of her time, like leading up to her having the baby, all her checkups, everything. Her primary care doctor, physician told her that since it was her first baby, she would be totally fine to have a vaginal birth, which was what she wanted, a vaginal birth. It wasn't until she was going into labor with a different doctor, the delivery doctor, was like, oh, have you previously had like fibroids or uterine cancer or something like that? And she was like, yeah. And they were like, you cannot have a natural birth. Like, I think there was like scar tissue and there was like stuff like blocking. They were like, you're going to have a C-section. And she was like, not in any way prepared. She wasn't prepared emotionally. Like, her body wasn't prepared. Like, and they just like, it was like hours of her like refusing to sign the papers to do it. And they were just like, listen, you have to do it. There's no way you'll be able to like push out this baby. And the baby's like coming now. So we have to do it now. And she had to sign the papers and do it. Like, it's a lot you have to consider. You have to just be, and you have to be ready for anything. Like with kids, like you're gonna get a motherfucking curveball at one point or another. I'm having my baby at home if I'm physically able. Wow, Richie. My feet are curling up as I'm listening, reading comments. I've heard that women can end up shitting during childbirth and the doctors deliver and don't give a fuck. They don't fucking care. They don't care. They do not care. We were just talking about how they will pull your organs out and put your organs on the table. They don't care about a little poop. They don't give a fuck about some poop. The organs move back into place on their own, which is what's gross and scary, right? They just be like, just throw them organs back in there so we can be on to the next. You know we have another C-section scheduled in 20 minutes. Adrian talked about that a little bit also on the Black Americans Oakland, how like the doctors be like, number one, the doctors prefer if you have a C-section because they can charge you more. Because they can charge you more rather than if you push it out, the birth canal, because it's like major surgery. Like they have to give you the epidural, they have to like, so they charge you for that. and like the taking everything out and then taking out the baby, the cutting you up, it's major surgery, so they can charge you more. You have to stay in the hospital, I think, like an extra day or two. Like, you can't move around, so they can charge you more. So the hospital prefers if you have a C-section rather than a vaginal birth, and they will schedule them back to back. If you haven't seen the Black Americans Oakland with Adrienne, who is a doula, and she's also in nursing school, medical school, please go look it up. I think it is the 3rd or 4th episode in the Black Americans playlist. Natural water birth for me. It moves back to the rightful place most of the time. Women give life, women go through hell. I have 4 sisters, and it is a lot. I forget the technicalities, but something having to do with muscle movement. Oh, causes the organs to go back into place. Yeah. They staple the organs or put them on things because they will move unless you keep them in place. They aren't going to show you the poop explosions either. My friend that had a C-section also told me, which I didn't know. I didn't know this until she told me. She was like that during her C-section. They actually strap you down. They like strap you down like you're up on the motherfucking cross, like with your arms out. They strap your arms down, and they strap you down to like prevent your body from like having like muscle spasms and stuff, and like you freaking out. They strap you down. They put up like, and then especially if you get the epidural, they put up like a big sheet so you can't really see that they have you cut open, and they have you like strapped to the table. I was like, I'm sorry, they strapped you to the table? She was like, yes. She was like, it was actually really scary and terrifying. Women's health, everything is all flowery and shit and not real the way people talk about it. Seren on here sounding like that kid on the playground revealing the truth about where babies come from. Hi, Kendrick. Those mommy blogs aren't going to tell you they were up all night because their baby was crying just because. Is there any truth to that thing about waiting to cut the umbilical cord and letting the baby get all the nutrients and the placenta so they end up healthier in life? Is that real? I see why people do that, but as soon as your baby is born and they're not inside of you anymore, like the nutrients start dying. And I've read that there's like nasty stuff that can like be transmitted through the umbilical cord after the baby is like delivered. It's like not good. As far as I know, it's better to cut it right away than to wait. There's also the gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, postpartum shedding. You wake up and your edge is just gone. Your teeth can separate. My mom had preeclampsia, and she also had bleeding gums when she was pregnant with me. And they bled like a lot. I'll probably adopt a little chocolate girl from the hood, raise her like my own. Postpartum depression is also real, and a lot of people don't talk about that either. When I had my first baby, I felt like a zombie. Postpartum depression is real, very real. My mom said I used to bite her when I breastfed. And I think that also, since we romanticize pregnancy and childbirth and labor and parenthood so much, that people that feel postpartum depression or that feel, you know, maybe it takes them a little bit longer to bond with their baby or whatever, they feel like even more alone, and like they can't talk about it because like that's not something that's shared and talked about. Like, man, why am I having such a hard time and everybody else is acting like it should be roses and butterflies, and like I'm not having that experience. Like, what am I doing wrong? And like that's whack to me too. That's not really fair. Postpartum depression is real. Hi, bushy brows. Oh, this is so mind-blowing. I'm surprised humans don't eat their newborns like other animals. Hospital will try to make their patients go for a C-section because it costs more. Postpartum depression is really sad. Animals can have it too. The epidural only took on one side of my body. Oh my gosh, so you could feel it on the other side? Are you okay? The hospital are also sales agents. Epidurals, C-sections cost more money and it's quicker. They push it. Yeah, we're talking about giving birth, bushy brows. Hi, TKJ. And some hospitals be trying to sell you formula right after delivery. My mom said she couldn't breastfeed me because I was doing too much. Throw the organs back in her body right quick. Happy hour ends at 7. Yo, they be doing a lot. Like I said after your video, seriously consider it a home birth. I want someone who knows me and actually cares about me and my child instead of rushing to get it done. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Are you from Oakland, TKJ? I think I need to have a discussion with my mom about our family history surrounding birth. She never told me about anything now thinking about it. And I think it's something that we have to talk about. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't talk about it. And then people be surprised. Really surprised. Really surprised. They also come to your room with the photographer asking if you want newborn pictures. I didn't get any sleep. There's always someone in your room. They did come in asking me about pictures. I was like, hell no. Pictures that they didn't sell you. What? Like, come on, get out of my face. I'm in the medical field. I've seen a number of births. A lot of women shit. And yes, the hospital prefers C-sections for the money and because it's faster than a natural birth. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Idris said the same thing. She was like, they be scheduling these C-sections like C-section, 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 C-section. And pay, money. Epidural. Let's get this epidural. Let's get you on this table. Let's get this baby out. We putting your organs back in. We on to the next room. Let's go. If I'm happily married and financially comfortable, I will consider it. Oh, a kid? But I will only have one. It's on your wrist. You can't see over the sheet, but you could hear them and stuff. Strapping you down while you high as fuck as they cut into you. Nope, that sounds like something out of a horror movie. See, and y'all talk about me, talk about someone being dramatic. I'm not being dramatic. I'm telling y'all how it is. I'm telling y'all how it really is. And then when I see the, I mean, not to call them liars, but then when I see these bitches that was like, oh my God, like, my pregnancy and childbirth was so magical. I'd be like, bitch, you was peeing and pooping on yourself, bitch. You a liar. And then you probably got strapped down to a table and then they fucking had your organs chilling and you was just looking at him sitting there on that steel countertop wondering what the fuck was going on. But you're gonna do a nice paid sponsored ad telling people how wonderful it was. But whatever, like, get in where you fit in. Like, I'm not mad, but I'm just saying, like, then the next bitch be surprised. This is torture. Some kids don't cry like that. My nephew wasn't a crier. I'm not saying all of them do. I'm not saying all of them do. I'm just saying that, like, things happen and people are surprised when it comes to, like, pregnancy, childbirth, and parenthood. Because they think it's going to be, like, all rainbows and butterflies. I've known kids. I wasn't a crier. I didn't cry a lot as a baby. I wasn't a big crier. I was, like, a very quiet baby. I just used to be, like, with these, like, big-ass eyes. Just, like, my eyes have been the same size my whole life. Just, like, my head got bigger as I grew older. But when I was, like, young, it used to be this little brown face and these, like, eyes. Like, but I didn't cry very much. But a lot of kids do cry, like I said. I mean, and I was, like, my mom got lucky. Like, I didn't have any, like I said, I didn't have colic or acid reflux or any type of, you know, anything like that. I was, like, a fairly easy child. You can't assume that that's going to be the case, though, because then you will be in for a rude awakening. I mean, and like, all kids cry at some point. Like, all kids cry at some point. Like, not even the most perfect child never cries. Because they're going to cry when they're hungry. Because they can't talk. So they have to communicate it somehow. And if they're hungry at motherfucking 3 a.m., they're going to wake up and they're going to cry. When my mom gave birth to me, her water didn't break, so I was still in the amniotic sac. So the doctor had to cut me out. My mom said it didn't hurt at all. Take stool softeners a week before the due date. Try to walk and squat a lot to stimulate gastric system. What's pit in the pendulum? What's that? What type of pit and the pendulum shit is that? That sounds horrifying. I'd def have to be in the room with my hypothetical wife if she had to go through that. Sounds like Dr. Jekyll. I had an epidural with my son. You lean forward and hug a pillow. You have to be really still. The epidural made it difficult to push because I was so numb and wound up having him naturally. I've heard that too, that like the epidural can make it harder because you can't feel anything. And so since you can't feel anything, you're not 100% sure if you're pushing because you can't really feel shit. And they'd be like, push. And you'd be like, I thought I was. I can't, these stories. I can't. I hated that MTV show Teen Moms trying to make it seem like parenthood is puppy dogs and rainbows. In the 80s, my mom's doctor tried to get her to remove her uterus. Oh my goodness. Oh, no problem. I love California. I'm trying to like get back out there. I would love to live there, to be honest. My mom said she had to be told when to push me out. Oh, when I came out, I didn't cry. She was scared something was wrong. But then she got mad when the nurse made me cry when they were doing tests. She was like, give me my baby, you monsters. The umbilical cord got stuck around my younger brother's neck. And this doctor shoved her whole hand up there and tore her bad. And yeah, and a lot of doctors, like I said, like, the fucking labor and delivery, like, nurses and doctors are just, a lot of them just be, so I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of them just be so, like, they see that shit all the time. So they just be so, like, hand up there, pull it out, organs, this and that, because they just don't care. Because they just, like, desensitized. My mom had OD stitches. Throwing them organs back and layup shots, only 5 seconds on the clock. The doctors can be so inhumane and insensitive, some of them. They say the worst place to have a baby is in a hospital. In order, it's a home birthing center. Hospital should be a last option. A birthing center is exactly what you think it is. Ellie said her mom had her in a birthing center. Uh-oh. Sorry, I hit the button. I hit the button by mistake, sorry. I didn't poop, but my daughter did. As soon as she was born, I was so happy because my doctor was an idiot. The students seemed to know more than she did. Bushy brows, you were a crier. My cousin was a crier. My mom was just on my aunt. She used to be like, God, your baby cries all the time. Like, what the fuck? Welcome to Birth Bake. My family be watching those birth videos, and they be like, look, it's beautiful. And I'm just like, I know it is, but we're just chit-chatting. I'm laying down. My mom has a video of me when I was like 3 weeks trying to talk. No, I can't shut up. Yeah, I used to just like look at everything. When you see the baby, you dismiss all the pain you went through. That's why we end up having more. Coming from a mom that experienced both natural and C-section. Yeah, they say that too. It's like an evolutionary thing that you forget as soon as the baby's born. Pit and the Pendulum was a book. Oh, a story. Okay. The lady messed up my epidural and shockwaves went through my legs. See, I've heard like quite a few stories of like epidurals getting messed up. Yeah, we talked about adoption. I said I would adopt. Oh. I read that story. That's what it was called? Wind that back. Remove the uterus. Why? I did hypnobirthing with my daughter. It was dope. The doctor wasn't there. Took castor oil. Sped up the birthing process. Folks forget the importance of bedside manner. You're funny, TKJ. Apparently, I wasn't a crier to the point that my mom forgot me at home once. During the first week I was home. In her defense, I was premature, so I was in the hospital for a month prior. If I had the money, I want to adopt and give birth. Yeah. Was a silent baby. Yeah. Try living in Chicago where summer doesn't start till June and it's over in 2 months. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get to Chicago this summer. I'm trying to plan exactly when it's going to be. Lots of unnecessary hysterectomies done on black women. Hypnobirth, this is a class. The Pit and the Pendulum is the Edgar Allan Poe story. The torture table with the pendulum blade that swings and slices people in half is from that. I was comparing C-sections to that. Not lying about that Chicago weather. Yeah, I thought the one where he locked him bricked him in the room was the Telltale Heart. I mean, that's kind of what it's like, though, the C-section. I mean, obviously, they don't have, like, the pendulum thing cutting you open, but they do have you, like, on the table, and they cut you. But you're in Texas now, right? And I want to get to Texas also. Well, I caught up to the chat. I reached the bottom. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. The Cask of Amontillado. Yes, that's what it was. That's what it was. You're right. That's what it was. That's what it was. Oh, Edgar Allan Poe. Hi, IW. You caught me right before I leave. I'm about to go because I reached the bottom of the chat. I'm glad I was able to chat with you guys, even though we weren't able to do regular Bees Bake today. I'm glad I was able to chat with you guys. So, regular Bees Bake next week, we will be watching Get Christy Love, which is online, several places. The Cask of Amontillado still freaks me out just thinking about it. That one was really weird. He, like, bricked him in there alive. The Telltale Heart is the one where he kills the dude, buries him under the floorboards, told himself because he was hallucinating the heartbeat. Yeah, I'm about to go lay down right now. I be screen capping where y'all are from. Because that way, when I'm in your city, can, like, hit you guys up. But we will be back next week. There were quite a few in the chat today, so thanks for tuning in. See you guys next time. Peace.